Hello and welcome to this another video lecture of business statistics. So we are discussing the calculation of mean deviation, median deviation and coefficient of mean deviation and median deviation. So we have already done few questions of calculating mean deviation and coefficient of mean deviation. Now let's further discuss more questions of mean deviation. So in last lecture we have discussed the individual series for calculating mean deviation. Now let's do few question of discrete series for calculating mean deviation and median deviation. So, question is to calculate the mean deviation from mean and coefficient of mean deviation of the following distribution. So, for this question, we have to calculate only mean deviation and coefficient of mean deviation. So, in this question, we are now not going to calculate median deviation. Okay, so as this is a question of discrete series, so we have given x and frequency f. So x is 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 and 50 and frequency 8, 12, 15, 10, 3 and 2. So as I have discussed that for calculating mean deviation, we have to first calculate the mean of a given data series. So for what we have to do first, we have to calculate the mean of the given data series. Then we will calculate mean deviation and with the help of mean deviation, we calculate coefficient of mean deviation. Now let's start with the solution of this question. So as value of x and f, which is frequency, is given in this question, let's first calculate the mean of this given data, frequency and value of x. So when we have to calculate mean in discrete series, so the formula for calculating mean in discrete series is sum of fx divided by n. Okay, which means sigma fx divided by n. So this is the formula for calculating mean. So first of all, we have to calculate the value of fx so that we can do the sum of all the values of fx. So for this, we will calculate the value of fx first. So let's multiply x into f. 10 into 8 is 80. Okay. After that, 15 into 12. 15 into 12 is 20. Just a second. Fifteen into 12 is 180. After that, 20 into 15, it is 300. Okay. Now 30 into 10, again 300. 40 into 3 is 120. And 50 into 2 is 100. So these are the values of fx. Now what we have to do? We have to do the sum of fx. So if we do the total, first of all, we have to calculate the value of n, which is sum of frequency. 8 plus 12 plus 15 plus 10 plus 3 and plus 2. So what are these values? This is 50. Okay, so n is 50. Now we will calculate the sum of fx, which is 0, 8 and This is 10. Okay, so 1080 is the total of fx. We can say sum of fx. So now first we have to calculate the mean of this given series. So formula of calculating mean is summation sum of fx divided by n. So now we will put all the value in this given formula of calculating mean. Means sum of fx, which is 1080 divided by 50. 1080 divided by 50. Let's calculate it. And divided by 50 is 21.6. So mean is equal to 21.6. So what is the value of mean? Mean is 21.6. So now what we have to do? We have to calculate the mean deviation. Okay, so with the help of mean, we have to calculate the mean deviation. So the formula, as I have earlier also told you, that while calculating the deviation, we have to ignore the sign of plus and minus. So as the formula of median deviation in discrete series, so as in individual series, the formula is sum of dx bar divided by n, but in discrete series, there is frequency is given. So the formula is sigma f dx bar, okay, and divided by n, okay, total number of frequency. Sum of frequency. Okay. So now first of all we have to calculate this dx bar, and we will calculate this dx bar with the help of mean value. How we have to calculate it? We have to calculate it with the help of mean value. So dx bar from mean, or you can write 21.6. So this is how we calculate this. Okay, we will calculate it with the help of value of mean. So dx bar from 21.6. So now we will start with the calculation of dx bar. So we have to do this calculation with the help of x. We calculate dx bar from x, okay, and from the value of mean, which is 21.6. So now we will calculate dx bar. First, 21.6 minus 10, okay, which is 11.6. Again, similarly, 21.6 minus 15, which is 6.6. Okay. Next, 21.6 minus 20, which is 1.6. Next is 21.6 minus 30, which is 8.4. Okay. Now 21.6 minus 40, which is 18.4. 18.4. Okay. And in last, minus 21.6, which is 28.4. 28.4. So this is how we calculate the value of dx bar from mean. So for calculating dx bar, we have to take the value of x and value of mean. While doing the subtracting these x value with mean value, we will ignore the sign of plus and minus. Okay. Now we will calculate the value of f dx. Now we have to multiply dx bar with the value of f. What we have to do? We have to do the multiplication of f and the value of dx bar. Okay. Now let's start with the calculation. 11.6 multiplied by 8, and it is 92.8. 92.8. Okay. Again, 6.6 multiplied by 12, that is 79.2. Again, 1.6 multiplied by 15, that is 24. Again, 84.8.4 multiplied by 10, it is 84. Okay. Next, 18.4 multiplied by 3, which is 55.2. Okay, and this is 8.6. This is 56.8. Okay, so this is how we will calculate f dx. Now we have to calculate the sum of all these value. What we have to do? We have to do the sum of all these given values. So now let's do the sum. 92.8 plus 79.2 plus 24 plus 84. Okay, 55.2 and then 56.8. So total is 392. What is the total? 392. So this is the value of sum of f dx bar. Okay. This is the value of f dx bar. Okay. So first we have to calculate the value of mean with the help of sigma fx upon n. After the value of mean, we calculate dx from mean. In this, we subtract all the value of x from the mean, and while doing the calculation, we have to ignore the sign of minus and plus. Okay, after calculating dx bar, we will calculate f dx bar. In this, we have to multiply the value of frequency with dx bar. After that, we have to do the sum of f dx bar. The sum we are doing for the formula for mean deviation, which is sum of f dx bar divided by n. Okay, now we will calculate mean deviation is equal to 392 divided by 50. This is the formula. So the value of mean deviation is equal to 392 divided by 50. So which is 7.84. What is the value? 7.84. This is how we calculate mean deviation. Now with the help of mean deviation, now we will calculate the coefficient of mean deviation. The formula for calculating coefficient of mean deviation coefficient of mean deviation is equal to mean deviation divided by the value of mean. So coefficient value is mean deviation divided by the value of mean. So as the value of mean deviation is 7.84 and the value of mean is 21.6. Okay. So we will put all these value in a formula so that we can get the value of coefficient of mean deviation. 7.84 divided by 21.6. So what will be the answer of coefficient of mean deviation is, let's do the calculation first. 7.84 divided by 21.6 is equal to 0.36. 0.36. Okay, so this is the value of coefficient of mean deviation. Okay, so these are the all three value of mean, value of mean deviation and coefficient of mean deviation. So this is how we calculate the mean deviation and coefficient of mean deviation in discrete series with the help of the value of mean. Okay, now let's further move towards the second question. So, in next question, we do the calculation for continuous series. As in this question, continuous data in continuous series is given, which is in class interval. So, in this question, basically we have to calculate the mean deviation from the mean and median from the following data. Okay, we have to also calculate their coefficient for mean deviation and for median deviation. So in this question, class interval is given 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and 6 to 8, and 8 to 10. For this given class interval, frequency is given 3, 5, 6, 4, and 2. So as we have already done while calculating mean, that we have to first calculate the mid value of a given class interval, and that mid value is also known as x value of x. So first we have to calculate the mid value of given class interval. So for calculating mean in continuous series data, we have to take assumed mean. Okay, so now let me tell you first the formula. Let's revise the formula, as we have already discussed this formula in mean while calculating the mean, that in continuous series, in type of continuous series data, we have to take a assumed mean for calculating mean. So in this, how we calculate mean is equal to, basically, what is the formula? Assumed mean. A, which is assumed mean. Okay, plus sigma f t x divided by total sum of numbers, which is n, and into I, which is class interval. What? Class interval. So this is the formula. x bar is equal to a plus sigma f dx divided by n into I. So first what we have to do, we have to calculate the mid value from this given class interval, and that mid value is the value of x. Okay, after that we will take assumed mean which for calculating the value of dx. Okay, so this value of dx we will calculate with the help of this assumed mean, which we take from the value of x, which is from the mid value of this given class interval. Okay, after that we will multiply this dx with the value of f, and we will do the sum of f dx, which is sigma f dx, and we will divide it by n. N is the total number, which is the sum of frequency in this given frequency 3, 4, 6, 4 and 2. A is assumed mean and I is class interval. So now let's solve this question first. Let me remove this formula. Okay. So let's start with this question. Okay. So this is the question. Wait, just a second. Now what we have to do? First, we have to calculate the mid value of this given class interval. So what we have to do? We have to add this and divide it by 2. We have to add lower limit of class interval and upper limit of class interval and then divided it by 2. So here 2 divided by 2 is 1. 4 plus 2 is 6 and divided by 2 is 3. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Again 6 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 14, divided by 2 is 7. And then 10 plus 8, 18 divided by 2 is 9. So this is the mid value. You can also say this is the value of x. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to take assumed mean from this, so that we can calculate the value of dx. Dx from a, which is assumed mean. A is assumed mean, value of assumed mean. Okay. So what will be assumed mean for this question? We will consider 5 as assumed mean. Okay. 5 is assumed mean. Now dx value from 5. Okay. We have to calculate the value of dx from 5. Now what we have to do? Let's start with the calculation of dx. So what we have to do? X minus assumed mean, so that we can get the value of dx. So while calculating dx, we will consider plus minus sign, as for calculating mean, we have to consider the sign of plus and minus. But while calculating mean deviation and median deviation, we will ignore the sign of plus and minus. Okay, so for calculating mean, as first we are calculating mean in this question, we will ignore this, we will consider the sign of plus and minus. So 1 minus 5 is minus 4. 3 minus 5 is minus 2. Here it is 0. 7 minus 5 is 2 again, and 9 minus 5 is 4. Okay, so these are the value of dx. Now with the help of dx, we will calculate the value of f dx. Now we will multiply a value of f and value of dx. Okay, so 4 into 3 minus 12 minus 10 This is 0. Again, it is 8 and it is again 8. Now what we have to do? We have to calculate, do the sum of f dx. As for calculating mean, we need sum of f dx. So the sum of f dx is minus 12 minus 10 plus 8 again plus 8. So value is 6. So sum is 6. Okay. Now value of n, as n is sum of frequency. So in this value of n is 20. Okay, and value of n is okay. So this is how we calculate. Now, first of all, we will calculate the value of mean. So as I have told you that, so first of all, calculate the value of mean. So how we calculate? A assumed mean plus sum of f dx. Okay, divided by n and multiply by I. This is how we calculate all the value in this given formula. Assumed mean is 5. Okay, plus sum of fdx is 6. Formula and value of n is 20 and class interval is 2. Okay, so these are all the value. So we'll calculate the value of mean. So it will be 5 plus 6 divided by 10. So let's calculate it. 6 divided by 10 is 0.6 and plus the value of 5. So it is 5.6. What is the value? Value is mean is equal to 5.6. Okay, what is the mean? 5.6. So this is how we calculate mean. As this method of calculating mean we have already discussed, but for calculating mean deviation in continuous series, first of all we have to calculate the value of mean, then we calculate mean deviation. So it is very important to first calculate the mean, or first it is important to calculate the average. Now with the help of this mean, we will calculate mean deviation. So let me remove this first. So mean, value of mean is 5.6. Okay, value of mean is 5.6. Okay, so now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate dx bar. Dx bar with the help of 5.6. Okay, So let's calculate the value of x bar with the help of the value of mean. We can write it here dx bar from 5.6. Okay. So for while calculating dx bar, we will ignore the sign of plus and minus as we have also did in previous questions. So let's start with the calculation of, let's calculate dx bar. It's 4.6. Okay. Next, 5.6 minus 3 is 2.6 basically. 2.6. This is 0.6. Next, 7 minus 5.6 is 1.4. 1.4 and it is 3.4. Okay. 9 minus 5.6. This is 3.4. This is how we calculate dx bar from mean. Now we will calculate f dx. We will multiply dx bar with the value of f. Okay. Now 4.6 multiplied by 3 is 13.8. Okay, 13.8. Next is 2.6. 2.6 multiplied by 5. That is 13. Again 6 multiplied by 6.6. 3.6. Okay, it is 6 multiplied by 0.6 is 3.6. Okay. Next is 1.4 multiplied by 4 is 5.6. Next is 3.4 multiplied by 2. That is 6.8. Now we will do the sum of all these values, right? Plus 5.6 plus 3.6 plus 13 and plus 13.8. So this is 42.8. 42.8. Now we will put all these value in the formula of calculating mean deviation is equal to 42.8 divided by n, which is 20. Okay, so answer will be equal to, so when we divided it by 42.8 divided by 20, so answer will be 2.14. 2.14. So this is median deviation. Sorry, mean deviation. Okay. So answer of mean deviation is 5.6 and answer of median deviation is 2.14. Now with the help of this we can calculate the coefficient of mean deviation, which is mean deviation divided by the value of mean. Okay. So now when we put all the value in this formula, of calculating coefficient of mean deviation. So value of mean deviation is 2.14 and value of mean is 5.6. Okay, 2.14 divided by 5.6 and is equal to 0.38. Answer is 0.38. Okay, so this is the answer of coefficient of mean deviation. So, as in continuous series, we have to first calculate mean, and in continuous series, mean is calculated with the help of assumed mean. So, in continuous series, we have given a class interval. With the help of class interval, we have to find the value of mid value, which is also the value of x, and from that value of x we have to take assumed mean. With the help of assumed mean we calculate the value of dx. Okay, so while calculating the value of dx from assumed mean, we will consider the sign of plus and minus. Okay, what we will do, we have to consider the sign of plus and minus, and with the help of dx we will calculate f dx. After calculating FDX, we will calculate the value, sum of FDX for calculating mean, as the formula of mean in continuous series is assumed mean plus sigma FDX divided by n into I. Okay, after that, with the help of mean, we again calculate dx bar, and from dx bar we will calculate f dx bar, and the sum of f dx bar divided by n. By doing this we will get the value of mean deviation. After that, with the help of mean deviation and mean, we will calculate the value of coefficient of mean deviation. So this is how we calculate mean deviation and coefficient of mean deviation in individual series, in discrete series, and in continuous series.